Let's have a conversation about mass shooters or school shooters. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I am a licensed mental health therapist, and I have been counseling men and women who are victims or perpetrators or of abuse. And I was asked earlier today to kind of explain the phenomenon of people who are mass shooters, and I kind of want to take the time to explain it to you all, because this is something that is, um, ever present in the U.S., in the United States. It's something that happens every once in a while. And so I've worked with mass shooters. I've attended trainings on school shooters and things like that. And so one of the things that tends to happen with mass shooters is a phenomenon called social rage. And social rage is when a person becomes overwrought with anger and rage at a particular group of people or system that they feel like has done them wrong. And so one of the, when I was talking about the person today, this person, and I won't go into it because it's a project that's going to be released, but the person became overwhelmed with anger at their spouse who they were divorcing. And this is something that I see frequently too, working in the court system. So they became overwhelmed with anger with their spouse. They were going through a custody case. And so they became overwhelmed with anger and rage toward their spouse that things weren't going the way that they wanted. They also, and people who get caught up in that kind of stuff also tend to become overwhelmed and angry with the justice system as well. What you have to realize is when you have people that are narcissistic, narcissistic people are used to being the ones in control. They're very ego driven. And so they feel like they should be the ones in charge of making all the decisions. Things should go the way that they want it to go at all times. They view themselves as very godlike in a lot of circumstances. And so when that doesn't happen and a person feels like they're losing control, very much is what does happen in court, right? You have a judge, sometimes you have a jury, you have other people that are involved in the in making the decisions for court cases. So you're not the one in charge. Even if you hire a good attorney, you can hope for the best, but ultimately other people are in charge of making decisions about your life and potentially your livelihood. And such as that is the case that I was talking about today. And so what tends to happen is that person feels like, you know what? I want to take my power back. How dare you think that you can control me? How dare you think that you can make a fool out of me? This is what they're thinking. And I'm going to take my power back. I'm not going to allow you to make a decision. I don't agree with what you're saying, and I'm going to take my power back by any means necessary. I'm also going to lash out violently, and I want everyone to pay for what they've done to me. And it's everybody's fault. It's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault. And I'm going to take out everyone that sort of interfered with my decision. I'm going to take out everyone that's pissed me off. I'm going to take out everyone that's not on my side. And even if you try to get in the way, and I feel like you might have been on my side at one point, you are just collateral damage. And when you're collateral, you are seen as the enemy. And so these people become very enraged. And what I've noticed in working with people like that, it's not typically an impulsive decision, so it's not usually a fly by the seat of the pants. I know we have a lot of action movies and things like that, but typically most people that do stuff like mass killings or mass shootings or school shootings, usually they plan for that. And the planning process is in the collection of firearms. They may actually have a strategy in terms of forms of attack. They want to be militant. They purchase, bulletproof vests, grenades in some cases. So they usually have an arsenal of weapons because they've been thinking about this for quite some time. And usually once they become fixated on the idea, there's little to nothing that you can do to change what they want to do because they feel like, you know what, this is what it is, and I'm sort of resigned to what it is that I'm going to do. They actually start to feel good about it. And when they actually commit the crime, they're very stoic. They start to feel a little bit more relief because they're getting that anger out, they're getting that frustration out with every shot that they fire. By the way, I should have mentioned trigger warning, so my apologies for that. But I got on here and I wanted to definitely have a conversation about that. It's the ultimate form of revenge. It's the ultimate form of control. People like that are usually not sorry that they've done it. They don't usually feel any remorse. What I have, at least from my experience and working in corrections and working with people like this, they usually hang on to those feelings for a long time. They may also continue, and in a lot of cases, most of them do continue to have challenges with anger, rage, and most especially authority figures. So they do not like taking direction from authority, and they hold on to stuff. So it's not uncommon for people like that to hold a grudge, even if they have a conversation with you and they've let it go. The chances are highly likely that they have not. Hope this helps. Thanks so much.